Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 408 based on novel. So let's start. Zhong Jingyun's laughter was hearty as he brought Wang Lin over and introduced him to the crowd. The cultivators that were obviously new to the 7 million worlds all greeted Wang Lin and spoke a few words. As for their inner thoughts, Wang Lin felt like he was facing a group of children. He could easily see through them. As for the others 4 cultivators, like Zhong Jingyun, they looked at Wang Lin as if they were looking at a little lamb. They faked a smile and said a few words. The rest of the cultivators outside the formation were all indifferent. They naturally saw what was going on, but they ignored it. This kind of thing happened all the time at the central square of the 7 million worlds. Zhong Jingyun and company stood in a siege formation to prevent any accidents. Wang Lin looked around and closed his eyes. He didn't bother paying attention to the messages they were passing to each other. Brother Zhong is indeed mighty to actually get you Fei, who has just entered the Scatter Thunder rankings, here. I admire you. However, we have to be careful. There must be something remarkable about him to be able to enter the Scatter Thunder rankings. It is best we don't get caught off guard. Brother Zhu is being a bit too careful. This person is only at the early stage of Ascendant. Forget the 4 of us attacking together, just one of us can kill him at will. In addition, with Senior Zhao here, this person can't do anything. That's right, Senior Zhao is at the illusory yin stage and only 1 step away from the corporeal yang stage. He is one who stands above many, and with Senior here, we will naturally listen to Senior. After gathering the traces of spiritual thunder from these people, we can finally form a complete spiritual thunder. Then we can go the Thunder Crystal Temple to exchange it for those 4 celestial ranked flying swords. It didn't take long for the formation. The hundreds of cultivators were around to flash and show signs of activating. Some of the cultivators became spirited and some were excited. They obviously enjoyed becoming the heavenly Tao. Even that illusory yin cultivator in Zhong Jingyun's group was the same. His lips curled into a smile. A moment later, the formation rumbled and Wang Lin opened his eyes. Zhong Jingyun looked excited and smiled. Everyone, the formation is about to open. Quickly, take out your tokens. The 5 of us will work together so we don't disperse, and once we enter the 7 million worlds, we can become the heavenly Tao together. What joy! I fear you all only need to experience the feeling of becoming the heavenly Tao once to get hooked. I'm not going to waste more time, let's go in. Seeing Wang Lin and the others take out their tokens, Zhong Jingyun and company immediately flew in while surrounding Wang Lin's group. The moment they entered the formation, it shined brightly and formed a storm that could tear the world apart. Everyone disappeared within this formation. The world rumbled. On one of the worlds in the 7 million worlds, there was an endless storm. Thunder rumbled and rain fell from the sky. There was a mortal city on the ground. It was night and rain was falling. There weren't many people walking outside. However, on the top of a mountain in the distance stood a person. This person had a head of white hair and his eyes were like lightning. He was like the sun in this windy and rainy night. He stood upright and his body gave off peak soul formation cultivation. His white hair flowed in the wind while his clothes flapped noisily. I, Liu Bei, began cultivating at the age of 7. I was enlightened in the changes of the world and observed the wind and clouds. I reached the soul formation stage at age 372, and now, after more than 500 years, I reached half the peak of the soul formation stage. Today, I'm going to break this world to welcome divine retribution and enter the celestial realm. The old man's voice was gentle, as if he was talking to himself, but his head was facing the sky as if he was roaring at the heavens. If I fail this divine retribution, then I'll reincarnate and cultivate again. If I succeed, I'll wait for you at the celestial realm. The old man's eyes lit up as he waved his sleeve and a thunderous rumble echoed. The thunder suddenly lit up the dark world, revealing thousands of cultivators around the mountain. They all looked excitedly, with feverish gazes, at the old man on top of the mountain. They were all disciples and descendants of this old man. Become a celestial. Become a celestial. I, Liu Bei, will become a celestial. If the heavens try to stop me, then I'll destroy the heavens. If celestials try to stop me, I'll slay the celestials, the old man roared as he charged at the sky. At the same time, the world rumbled and the clouds scattered. Divine retribution clouds began to gather, and as the wind howled, large amounts of divine retribution clouds formed. There were more than 10 silhouettes inside the divine retribution clouds. These silhouettes shined brightly, releasing waves of celestial spiritual energy. At first glance, they looked like real celestials. The space behind the 10 silhouettes seemed to distort and then revealed a magnificent continent behind it. It was filled with celestial spiritual energy, with countless celestial cranes flying, and palaces filled the land. Celestial realm. That's the celestial realm. Ancestors' divine retribution made more than 10 celestials appear. This is auspicious. Auspicious. The thousands of cultivators around the mountain widened their eyes and became excited. This was the first time they had seen something like this. When they saw this, their desire to become celestials increased greatly. The moment the divine retribution appeared, a powerful pressure appeared and caused the mountain to tremble. The thousands of cultivators were immediately pushed more than 5 kilometers away. Wang Lin was one of the shadows. Staring at the ground, he felt extremely strong. Others might even have felt excited. After all, becoming the heavens and becoming divine retribution was something most cultivators would be immersed in. It was a feeling they didn't want to lose. However, Wang Lin had personally experienced divine retribution, and not just once, but many times. This was something most cultivators couldn't comprehend. What he had experienced was exactly the same as what the old man was facing, but it was even wider ranged and more powerful. A terrifying feeling appeared in Wang Lin's heart, causing him to be unable to be immersed in his excitement. In accordance with convention, as long as the formation is active, we will encounter people experiencing divine retribution. This time, don't fight with me, just let me do this. Zhong Jingyun revealed excitement and immediately clasped his hands at the people around him. Okay, we'll let Brother Zhong go. The rest all laughed and nodded. Zhong Jingyun became even more excited as he stepped forward and became covered in a crystal light. He stepped out of the clouds and appeared below the divine retribution clouds. At this moment, he was surrounded in celestial spiritual energy. Anyone who saw him would feel like worshipping him. He raised his right hand and pointed at the old man below. His words were like thunder. Lower realm cultivator, survive divine retribution to ascend to a celestial. As Zhong Jingyun's words echoed, a bolt of thunder shot out from the clouds. The old man named Liu Bei stared dumbfoundedly at the more than 10 silhouettes in the divine retribution clouds and felt his scalp go numb. He didn't expect his divine retribution to attract so many celestials. However, similarly, a sense of pride filled his heart. He let out a roar as he displayed his full cultivation and shot toward the divine retribution. The thunderous rumble was heaven-shaking, causing the world to tremble and the rain to scatter. After the thunder disappeared, the old man had a pale face. Several treasures before him all shattered. However, he didn't despair. His eyes revealed an indomitable gaze. His hands formed a seal as he roared and placed down a large amount of protection to prepare for the second divine retribution. As Wang Lin stared at all of this, his mind trembled. He couldn't calm down for a long time. At this moment, a young man in black, who was one of the newcomers, asked, "Fellow cultivator, why not kill him directly with just one divine retribution instead of gradually increasing its power?" The moment this question was asked, Wang Lin's eyes revealed a strange light. The divine retribution he had experienced was also like this. The first hit often wasn't strong, and they gradually grew stronger. Before Wang Lin entered this 7 million worlds, this question didn't appear in Wang Lin's mind. He thought it was just how it should be. However, now this doubt rushed into Wang Lin's mind like a ray of lightning. The heavens are virtuous. Even though they are in danger, it gives them a glimmer of hope. Divine retribution lightning is only to hone the lower realm cultivators, so launching the bolts one by one can make them truly feel the might of heavens before they are destroyed. Of course, this is all nonsense, the clan says. But the true reason for making the divine retribution grow stronger gradually is to force the struggle and indominate will out from the lower realm cultivators. Only by doing this can mysterious spiritual thunder be born in their body, the cultivator named Ju slowly said. These words had a different meaning in Wang Lin's ears. He closed his eyes, and a huge wave was set off in his mind. He vaguely understood something. Thunderous rumbles echoed, and the second, third, fourth, and fifth divine retributions lashed out under Zhong Jingyun's control. At this moment, he had a twisted expression and was filled with endless excitement. The feeling he was currently experiencing was 1,000 times, 10,000 times more comfortable than dual cultivation. I'm the heavenly Tao, and I command thunder. Thunderous rumbles echoed. Before the divine retribution, the old man coughed out blood and his body was a bloody mess. Despair gradually appeared in his eyes. At this moment, the sixth divine retribution descended. The sixth divine retribution was dozens of feet wide, and it even caused the earth to tremble violently, as if it was going to collapse. It suddenly descended as the old man struggled to let out the last roar in his life. I want to become a celestial. His voice was heaven-shaking, and it entered Wang Lin's ears, causing him to open his eyes. Thunderous rumbles echoed when the sixth bolt of heavenly thunder fell. The old man's body collapsed and his soul was destroyed. Thunderous rumbles echoed, and the thousands of cultivators that were pushed away let out mournful cries. They looked at the sky with stunned expressions and were speechless for a very long time. The divine retribution clouds gradually disappeared. Zhong Jingyun looked like he hadn't had enough. Sorry, I haven't become divine retribution for a long time and went a bit too far. It's a pity he cultivated all the way to the peak of the soul formation stage, but he is simply too trash for not giving birth to any spiritual thunder. Zhong Jingyun shook his head and was still savoring the feeling. No harm. There are many opportunities in the 7 million worlds, and the birth of spiritual thunder is not easy. There will be opportunities later, let's first deal with these newcomers. The cultivator named Ju indifferently waved his right hand so the divine retribution clouds blocked them from view. Then he coldly looked at Wang Lin and company. It was not only him. Aside from the illusory yin cultivator who was sitting on the side with his eyes closed, the 4 other people, including Zhong Jingyun, surrounded Wang Lin's group. You all, the expressions of some of the newcomers changed, and some of them immediately roared in anger. We have no grudges with you all. What is the meaning of this? We are all from the same clan, what are you going to do? Do it. The cultivator named Zhao sneered and moved forward. His hand moved, forming 2 thunder whips. He didn't attack Wang Lin, but 2 others. The other 3 also attacked at the same time. They were all mid-stage ascendant cultivators who had worked together many times. They immediately began a slaughter. Miserable screams echoed. The cultivator named Ju was extremely vicious. He had chosen 2 people who had just reached the soul transformation stage. These 2 people weren't able to resist at all and immediately died. Flesh and blood splattered everywhere, and a foul smell spread. The person who attacked Wang Lin was the previously gentle-looking Zhong Jingyun. He seemed to not have recovered from being divine retribution, and there was contempt in his eyes. He haughtily formed a seal and created thunder similar to divine retribution. Lower realm hand over your spiritual thunder and die for me. There was a sense of pleasure in his twisted expression as he charged at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression remained calm, and he reached out with his right hand. The twisted expression Zhong Jingyun had immediately collapsed and his face turned pale. Disbelief filled his eyes and his body froze in the air as if there was a big hand holding him. You. His voice was trembling as he looked at Wang Lin with terror. Before he could speak, an impact that made him lose his wits rushed into his body. His body trembled and he let out a miserable scream that entered the ears of the surrounding cultivators. Pretending to be the heavenly Tao and delivering divine retribution upon others. But right now, I'm your heavenly Tao, I'm your divine retribution. Wang Lin's voice was cold and contained an inexplicable feeling as he mercilessly squeezed. With a bang, Zhong Jingyun's flesh collapsed into a pile of flesh and blood. Just like the old man, his body collapsed and his soul was destroyed. This sudden change shook the minds of the surrounding cultivators. This was especially true for the three people who accompanied Zhong Jingyun. They had just killed all the newcomers and had taken the stuff from their marks. Zhong Jingyun's miserable scream and Wang Lin's indifferent words caused their eyes to overflow monstrous fear. Zhong Jingyun thought that he had invited a lamb, but the price of death told him that Wang Lin wasn't a lamb, but a fierce wolf from the inner realm. That illusory yin cultivator suddenly opened his eyes. He was filled with disbelief, and his body trembled. When Wang Lin killed, he clearly felt Wang Lin's suffocating power. He couldn't even raise any will to resist this powerful aura. His scalp was numb and a huge wave was set off in his mind. He didn't hesitate to try to escape. However, his footsteps trembled when Wang Lin's indifferent gaze swept past him. His mind trembled as if thunder had exploded in his brain, and he coughed out blood. "Who gave you permission to escape?" Wang Lin withdrew his gaze, but this sentence caused the illusory yin cultivator's origin soul to tremble, and he coughed out blood once more. He no longer dared to escape. At the same time, the three ascendant cultivators, along with the cultivator named Zhu, trembled and retreated like crazy. They were going to leave this place that terrified them. However, what awaited them were Wang Lin's red eyes. A bolt of red lightning shot out from his eyes. G realm. Most of the G realm was in Wang Lin's original body, and only a very small amount had come with his divine sense. However, he still used it because the G realm was divine retribution. Since I'm divine retribution, I'll naturally use divine retribution to destroy you all. The red lightning shot out directly toward a cultivator. His eyes became filled with red light and he let out a miserable cry. In a flash, it broke through his body and destroyed everything. His body collapsed just like the old man who died to the divine retribution. To think of yourself as the heavenly Tao, what nonsense. If you're heavenly Tao, then I'm the divine retribution that will exterminate the heavens. As Wang Lin spoke, the red lightning pierced through the first cultivator and charged toward the second cultivator. This cultivator's eyes were filled with terror as he hit the mark between his eyebrows and took out all his treasures. There was madness in his eyes as he chose to self-destruct. However, not even Master Zhu Qian could self-destruct before Wang Lin, much less this little ascendant cultivator. The moment he took out his treasures, they all shattered before the G-realm lightning. Even his body that was going to explode was like a flame that was extinguished by water when the red lightning hit him. His body trembled, blood flowed out from his orifices, his body was destroyed, and his origin soul shattered. All of this happened in a flash. Killing these people didn't take Wang Lin any effort. Mere ascendant cultivators dare to compare themselves to heavenly Tao. This will be the root of the Scatter Thunder clan's end. Wang Lin turned around to look at the illusory yin cultivator after he spoke. He didn't even look at the last ascendant cultivator named Zhu while he was destroyed by the G realm. "It's your turn next." As Wang Lin spoke, the G realm that had killed three cultivators suddenly turned around and instantly entered the body of the illusory yin cultivator. His eyes became dim and his origin soul died. However, his body wasn't destroyed and fell to the ground. However, the clan mark was taken away by Wang Lin when the body fell on the ground. The thousands of cultivators in sorrow immediately saw a scene that they could never forget. A body that gave off celestial spiritual energy, the body of a celestial. A celestial that was just standing within the divine retribution clouds fell from the sky. It was as if veils were lifted and the celestial spiritual energy surrounding the body disappeared. This corpse was just like them. This wasn't a celestial. It was a cultivator. There was a bloody mark between the eyebrows of the corpse that fell on the earth. There was still thick fear in the corpse's eyes. Wang Lin walked out from the divine retribution clouds and coldly looked at those below him as he said, "That is your celestial." Then he took a step and disappeared from the world. However, his figure was forever imprinted in the hearts of those cultivators. Even after Wang Lin had been gone for a long time, these cultivators still hadn't recovered from the shock. Today, they had not only seen their ancestor get destroyed by divine retribution, but also watched the corpse of a celestial fall. They also saw the one who was powerful enough to kill a celestial and heard his words filled with mockery. But even more so, those words were filled with self-deprecation. These cultivators arrived next to the corpse and stared at it. Is this a celestial? Why do I feel like this person is the same as us, a cultivator? Just stronger than us. After a long time, the thousands of cultivators awakened from their shock when a soft voice echoed across the world and entered their ears. Can I take this body away? As the voice echoed, a young man appeared. He had no hair and his face was filled with kindness. He stepped out from the void and arrived next to the body. An old man at the late stage of nascent soul was shocked, and he hesitantly said, "You're Daoist scattered spirit. If you want, I can be anyone in the 7 million worlds. If you want it, I am." The bald youth smiled and ignored them. His hand reached out at the corpse and took it with him as he walked into the void. His eyes landed in the direction Wang Lin went to and revealed a strange light. He is different from those people who call themselves divine retribution. Perhaps he is not a thunder slave, the youth pondered and disappeared from the world. He was beyond the soul formation stage, beyond ascendant, he was at the nirvana cleanser stage. This kind of thing should be impossible in the 7 million worlds. It should never happen. If the Scatter Thunder clan knew of this, it would set off a huge wave inside the Scatter Thunder clan. Even the ancestor would leave his closed-door cultivation to check out the situation. At the same time, on the planet Wang Lin was on, Shuligua was happily gathering resources with thousands of people. His throne was now nearly 10,000 feet wide, and it was filled with beautiful female cultivators. There was one woman who was extremely stunning. She was coldly sitting there and staring at Shuligua with hatred in her eyes. "You're a mere treasure spirit, yet dare to capture me. You have caused a calamity to fall upon you. Not only you, but even your master will be killed. No matter who your master is, no matter what your master's identity is in the clan, you will both die." There were 7 million worlds here, making this place seem boundless. But the Scatter Thunder clan members didn't need to blindly search. Whenever someone was about to go through their divine retribution, the charm the Scatter Thunder clan members were holding would detect it. Then the nearest Scatter Thunder clan cultivator would be teleported over and be transformed into the heavens. As Wang Lin moved through the 7 million worlds and looked at the planets, a complicated feeling arose in his heart. His expression gloomy as he looked at this world that couldn't be distinguished from the real world. After a long time, he let out a sigh. Then he flipped his right hand and more than 10 Scatter Thunder clan marks appeared in his grasp. After crushing all of them, a large amount of items that could be used to exchange for thunder crystals erupted forth. After putting them all away, Wang Lin looked at the thunder remaining from the marks. They were all incomplete traces of spiritual thunder. They had all been gathered by Zhong Jingyun and the others over the countless years by murdering newcomers to the 7 million worlds. There were nearly 1,000 of them, and once combined, they would form a complete bolt of spiritual thunder. As Wang Lin waved his hand, the nearly 1,000 strands of spiritual thunder began to fuse, and eventually there was only one remaining. From afar, it no looked longer thunder, but ball of smoke. There were countless faces inside it, and it was rapidly changing. Although it looked like it had nothing to do with thunder, there was a strange thunder force within. It was completely different from the thunder Wang Lin cultivated, but the moment it appeared, the thunder in Wang Lin's right eye flashed rapidly. The smoke ball trembled and charged toward Wang Lin's right eye. It immediately entered his right eye and went into his origin soul. It merged with the thunder inside Wang Lin's origin soul. Thunder rumbled like crazy inside Wang Lin's body, and his hair moved without any wind. His body gave off endless thunder and he was as bright as the sun, but with thunder scattering in all directions. The moment the two thunders fused, thunderous rumbles echoed inside his origin soul. The memory fragments that seemed to come from ancient times erupted from the thunder inside his origin soul. This large amount of memory was like a storm sweeping across Wang Lin's origin soul. This caused his body to rumble, and the world before him seemed to be split open by thunder. A clear image of the world appeared clearly before Wang Lin. This was the inheritance of the thunder essences that had been there since the birth of thunder. The memory was contained inside the thunder essences and was rarely ever opened. Today, when Wang Lin absorbed a complete spiritual thunderbolt, a gap opened and some of the memories leaked out. There was a bolt of endless thunder appearing from the void in the image. This thunder contained a powerful aura of essence, and surrounding it were 9 different kinds of thunder. Together, they formed a strange pattern. The thunder essence was at the center and the 9 other thunders were accompanying it. When they rotated, they seemed to form their own world and gave off a sense of perfection. This was the real thunder essence. An ancient voice broke through time and echoed inside Wang Lin's ears. This voice felt very ancient, as if it was the sound of heaven itself. 9 thunders is the limit. They were formed with the birth of thunder essence. Above 9 is 10, and 10 is perfection. Thunder essence reached completion. The moment he heard the voice, Wang Lin's origin soul rumbled, then everything before him collapsed and he recovered. He was still in the 7 million worlds, and everything was still dark with bursts of light. However, he was now covered in sweat and his eyes were filled with shock. There was originally only one thunder mark in his right eye, but now there was hint of a second one. Only it was a bit smaller. That smaller bolt of thunder orbited the original thunderbolt inside Wang Lin's right eye. Every time it rotated once, it would cause Wang Lin's thunder origin to grow slightly. A deeper understanding of thunder filled Wang Lin's mind. After a long time, the shock Wang Lin was feeling died down and his eyes lit up. Everything became more clear. The Scatter Thunder clan said that thunder is split into 6 types, but even they don't know that it's not 6, but 9. These 9 thunders all accompanied the thunder essence. In a way, a complete thunder had 10 different types. My thunder origin has already appeared and is on the same level of existence as the eternal thunderbolt in the Scatter Thunder clan, and it is also a thunder essence. I can strengthen my thunder essence by absorbing it, and if I can find the other accompanying thunders, my thunder origin will be complete. I can even break through the 2nd step cultivation and become a 3rd step cultivator with this thunder essence. Right now I have already absorbed the spiritual thunder. There are 8 more. Wang Lin had never been as clear about the future of his cultivation as now. The sliver of memory from his thunder essence had opened the door for him. It could be said that if not for the Scatter Thunder clan, Wang Lin could have never come to the 7 million worlds and most likely would not have discovered the truth about thunder. The Scatter Thunder clan indirectly gave Wang Lin a great fortune. The thunder in Wang Lin's eyes flashed, and with a thought the thunder in his right eye flew out and started floating before him. The thunder essence was filled with life, and there was a smaller bolt thunder around it. This was very familiar to what he saw, the only difference was that it lacked the other 8 accompanying thunders. It was a pity that the only accompanying thunder was too weak, although it was there was only a trace of it. His right eye flashed and the incomplete thunder essence immediately returned to his right eye. He muttered, "I'm not willing to kill people going through their divine retribution, but I can kill the Scatter Thunder clan members and obtain it from them." As he sneered, Wang Lin disappeared. His divine sense spread out as a ripple and a nightmare began in the 7 million worlds. There were a few Scatter Thunder clan members moving through space. The one with the lowest cultivation was at the ascendant stage and the highest at corporeal young. They were paying attention to their tokens and would immediately head over if they detected anything. This spiritual thunder is extremely difficult to collect. We have already killed 4 lower realm cultivators, but none of them gave birth to spiritual thunder. No rush, this relies on luck. If no spiritual thunder appears, then we can just steal from others. The corporeal young cultivator was filled with arrogance as he spoke. The surrounding cultivators immediately began to flatter him. Just at this moment, an ascendant cultivator became puzzled and pointed ahead, saying, "Everyone, do you all see this? I have never seen it in the 7 million worlds before." Before he could finish speaking, a thunderous rumble came from where he pointed. It got closer and attracted the attention of everyone else. The corporeal young cultivator's eyes widened and became filled with terror. A thunderstorm more than 100,000 feet wide was raging before them. Before it even got close, they could already see the endless lightning bolts that were like little silver snakes moving along the edge. The sound of the thunder was earth-shattering. "What is this? Escape!" These cultivators immediately became pale. They felt their scalps go numb and were going to retreat. A few smart ones were going to teleport away. The corporeal young cultivator was one of them. However, they were too slow. In an instant, the thunderstorm suddenly sped up and surrounded them. Even the corporeal young cultivator was forced out from teleportation and was sucked into the thunderstorm. The scream seemed insignificant compared to the sound of the thunder. The cultivators all died. The storm swept across the stars and a huge face vaguely revealed itself within the storm. It was Wang Lin. His face was hidden inside the storm as it swept forward. None of the Scatter Thunder clan members were able to escape death before this thunderstorm. A Nirvana Scryer old man of the Scatter Thunder clan was moving along across space. However, at this instant, his body trembled and he suddenly turned. His pupils shrank and disbelief filled his eyes. Before he could escape, the thunderstorm swept by and swallowed him as it continued moving forward. As Wang Lin began a slaughter, neither Yin and Yang or Nirvana Scryer cultivators were able to resist the thunderstorm at all and were all devoured. In just a few days, almost 1,000 cultivators had been killed by Wang Lin, and everything within their marks belonged to Wang Lin. He had also obtained 4 complete spiritual thunderbolts from them. These spiritual thunderbolts were all absorbed by his right eye and continued to grow. On the 4th day after Wang Lin's thunderstorm engulfed 3 Nirvana Scryer cultivators, his token that indicated that there was someone going through divine retribution began to tremble just as he was about to move. However, the trembling stopped in a flash as someone else had already gone before Wang Lin. The thunderstorm shrunk like crazy and formed a powerful vortex, and Wang Lin walked out of the vortex. His eyes lit up as he walked forward with the token in hand and disappeared. This video will end here.